Alright, hello everyone, BD Voro here, and I've been really wanting to make this video for a while. It's been on my mind, and there was an incident about a week ago that really had me thinking. I had a ton of people talking to me about it, and I'm right here making the video. With me today, I have my great friend Thunder God here. Say what's up, Thunder God.
What's going on, guys? It's TG or Thunder God. You weren't expecting me to hit my intro, but what's up, guys?
With that smooth intro like always. Yeah.
Yep.
So as you guys can tell by the title, we're going to be talking about the biggest things with the whole debating community. Thunder God was telling me about this, and it's just kind of gotten to this, I don't want to say corrupted, but it's gotten to this negative stigma environment-esque type area where it's kind of fallen off and it's not gotten enjoyable, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, and a lot of people actually dislike the power scaling community.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people don't like us. It's getting more generally accepted, but out of everybody in the anime community, we're definitely not favorites. I'll put it like that. We're not favorites.
Dude, the waifu shippers are above us now. Dang.
Oh my God. The My Hero shippers, everybody's above us right now.
Dude, yeah. I think part of the biggest issue is just kind of I feel people kind of forget we're humans, if you know what I mean. I don't care how you view someone like Seth, Thunder God here, for example, myself even. At the end of the day, I am a human. Whether I'm this, super big Chad, 7-foot guy with big muscles or whatever, 90, 80-year-old dweeb with glasses, it doesn't matter what I am as a person from YouTube. It's I am still a human. And I think that just gets completely lost, and people just kind of forget their moral senses, forget how a conversation is founded, and they'll just go completely what's the word, spurg, essentially, in a debate or a conversation. It just gets so rash.
They'll go AWOL off the cuff,
Yes.
It turns into so much more when it wasn't anything in the first place. That's a good way of putting it.
So many times I see this in a debate or in a conversation on Discord or Twitter, Quora, whatever the heck it is, and people will just, not treat each other with respect, and they'll just be yeah, your mom, he rammed my dad last night or something, super stupid stuff like that,
it gets you're putting it fucking lightly, bro. It gets turned up to another level. I've seen death threats sent to somebody because for example, we'll talk about if you don't know this person named Happy, he had he was trying to debunk Universal Naruto, and people allegedly ended up sending death threats to him and his fiance, and it's man, oh man, you cannot be that upset. It can't be that real. And it's so crazy because it's for example, right? If that was me, right? You would not find me taking that like a bitch, to be honest. See me in real life, honestly. I've seen people drop and even then, right? I've seen people drop their addresses because they get mad in the debate, and it's bro, what do you think you're fucking doing right now? What is this? It's it's ridiculous. It's the definition of hiding behind a screen, bro. No one's gonna talk like this in front of you.
Thunder God and I got to the specific conversation of it's probably, people think of Discord as kind of their main life, or I shouldn't even say Discord, because I see this also a ton on Reddit. I'll see this on, even Instagram, which is one of the most saddest things I can ever imagine, being preoccupied on Instagram. Twitter, you'll see it a ton. And it's kind of you can see it as you're shifting your own, I guess, how do I word it? Something you're shifting your life onto that platform, if that makes sense. And I think that's, pretty pathetic. What's your take on that?
So it's actually interesting to bring that up, because I think this more speaks to our society, actually, more in the fact that because we're more so a society shifted into more digital and immediate gratification, right? If there's something going wrong with your life, it's very easy to go somewhere else or into a different media, into another life. That's why, to be honest, a lot of people turn to anime. It just, relaxes them. It's a great escape for, their lives, which is great. Everybody needs an escape occasionally. However, I think on Discord, right, it takes it up to another level where people almost transition more of their actual life to just being on Discord, which is you do whatever you want with your free time. I really don't care. If you want to spend 24 hours on Discord a day, I really don't give a shit, to be honest. That's your life. That's whatever. It's not my, I can't really stop you, it's whatever. However, Should you? No, bro. Like it really, like, a lot of people switch over and they spend more of their actual time on Discord and doing all this stuff, and in the end, like, suffering in their actual life. You know, maybe, you know, I don't want to like go too far into it, but maybe like running away from certain problems, you know, maybe bringing certain problems, not to get too deep into it, but that's just kind of example. And this isn't Discord specifically, it's just what we're talking about. This could be like any sort of, you know, sort of media or medium, excuse me. So it really depends. We just happen to be talking about Discord right now.
And like, if you're curious why we're bringing up Discord, it's probably because I can at least speak for me. I spend more time on Discord than I spend on whatever other platform. I don't know about Thunder God, of course.
There needs to be a balance, I feel like, and a lot of people don't have that balance. They don't have that idea of like, they'll just get so lost in like this environment, like in debating, for example, like in power scaling and these servers, right? They'll just get so like addicted to the idea of like raising their rank, you know, getting better for like honestly an overall like fruitless endeavor. Because at the end of the day, right, a lot of people will accumulate all this knowledge, this wealth of knowledge, right? And what do they do with it? Nothing substantial. And they're going to end up leaving the community one day and have honestly wasted their time. To be honest, they will have. Like, it's unfortunate. But what are your thoughts on that?
Like, I totally agree. And I think at some points I can be guilty of something be like debating. Because like, you know, although I don't have too many debates up on my channel, I do have a ton of debates on my computer. Like, even debates I didn't even take part in. And, you know, I'm always interested in being like, hey, look, this is where my friend's at, and this is where I'm at, this is where so-and-so's at, you know, like, but I never take it to the step of I must be better than, I don't know, I almost said King of Lightning, but that isn't really much of a mile. I must be better than Noodles, I must be better than Leon, I must be better than Jordy, you know, like these super big people, you know, and they dedicate their life to it, if that makes sense, you know, in a weird...
I think we should just preface this real quick. Neither of us, we both love to debate, you know. We're not saying debating's inherently bad or like debating at all is like a bad thing, because at the end of the day, there's so many like benefits to debating, and the fact that like it transfers over. It can transfer over, especially like, for example, let's say you want to get into YouTube. Debating will benefit you. It really will. Like you can definitely like add some practicality to it. You can really gain a lot of insight. For example, let's say you want to make content about a certain series. You know, you can gain quite a bit of insight about that. But the flip side is, right, think of how many people aren't doing that. Like 99.9%. Like, why do you think there's so few like power scaling? I don't want to say power scaling, but like versus like anime like content on YouTube. Like Seth and Swagkage kind of rule. That's it. Like nobody's really close. Like maybe Chuck, you know, it's like it's almost nobody. And like the reason for that is because like a lot of time these people aren't doing anything with this knowledge, and honestly, knowledge without application is almost a prison.
It's useless. You know, like I agree with that.
Yeah.
You know, like, and for some people don't quite understand what that means, but let's say I acquire the knowledge of how to build a computer, but let's say I never build that computer. What did I do with that knowledge? The answer is nothing. So, like, right there, I literally did nothing. That's simply what it can just be applied down to.
Can I give you an example too? This is a funnier example. Like, so for example, like cold approaching, which I don't know if you're aware of. It's like, you know, going up to random females and talking with them. Like, and guys will make like YouTube videos about like game and stuff like that. You know, how to get better at talking to girls.
Oh boy.
And people will watch those videos, right? But they won't go up and talk to girls. So like, what does it matter? You know, so it's like that. Yeah, 100% agree. That's just a different example for like somebody like wondering. So like, you know, these people who really aren't doing much with it. I mean, it's just really like I want to say unfortunate, but like I'm not gonna say unfortunate because I'm benefiting from that. So like, keep not doing nothing and I'll keep winning. 402, but you know, it's like you know, like whatever, you know, like, and we're just pointing it out. You know, don't be one of those people who's like the sum of your ambition is like to be a certain level like of Discord debater. Do not be that person.
No. And I've always told this to my friends. If this prevents me from getting to my goal, I won't do it. So in the sense of, let's say if I spend, I don't know, 22, well, that makes no sense. I spend 16 hours a day on Discord religiously, seven days a week. How is that going to help me with my goal? You know, like, you see what I'm saying? It's useless.
And even better, right? Even better. I have a good because that's facts, bro. Like you'll have people like you'll have people who want to grow a YouTube channel, and I've noticed this. I'm not gonna say names, but like you have people who want to grow a YouTube channel. You know, they want to do power scaling. They want to be like the next Seth and Swag or whatever.
Voro.
Their content fucking Voro TG. Their content fucking blows, bro. Like it sucks. Like it's lazy. It's trash, and like that's what happens. Like you just gonna like it just doesn't really like nothing really comes out of it. It's like it's just fucking bad, and like honestly, like they don't deserve it. Like because and this is gonna kind of segue. I don't know if you have any other thoughts on this, but I was gonna segue into like a bunch of these people, like debaters themselves, like as individuals. But like I don't know if you have any other thoughts you want to bring up before. Yeah, so a lot of these debaters, right? And I'm going to speak generally because I've met so many people who are actually super cool. They're very cool people. Like honestly, like I really like, you know, they're down to earth. They're you know, they're ambitious. They want more than just debating, but they are debaters themselves. And, you know, so there's a bunch of cool people out there. They are actually super cool people. However, right? And then let me put a comma right after that. However, let's get proper with this grammar. There are those people who are just one, right? They're only debater. Like that's their personality trait. They are a debater. Like that is right. And you know, they're quote unquote good by like the community standards, or like, you know, maybe they actually are good. Whatever. Who really gives a fuck? Not me. I do and don't. You know, I'm here, so I do to a minor degree. And then when you get to see them as people, right? They're fucking weird. They're in all honesty, they're losers. Like I'm gonna be blatant here. They're fucking losers. Like, and I use loser in the sense that like you might be saying like, "What? Who is this guy to say like a debater's a loser?" Maybe I'm fucking nobody, but I don't think I'm a loser. I'm a beast, man. I got like, you know, I'll put it in perspective, right? I have a good example, just like not to like, you know, to be honest, to jerk myself off, but like I came in a year ago into this community, you know, no fucking like I only really did it like I only got into this stuff like maybe like 11 months ago. So my YouTube channel starts. I already am almost at 1K subs. I have like a decent following, and I attribute that to being like grounded, level-headed, always improving. Not because I was the best, but because as a human being, I was fire. I'm gonna be honest. And a lot of people, like their personality, like they don't have like it's just they're trash. They're trash. I'm gonna be honest. Like I can only find so many different ways, and like you have to like you know what I mean. You know what people I'm talking about. They're not cool. You would see them in real life. No.
And to be honest, I can name several people I know on Discord that are like what you had just said. I'm not going to get into specifics of all their situations or who they are, but you know, it's very common for me to meet people like what you had just said. These people are people that spend quite a bit of hours on Discord and social media. These people are the people that tend to draw controversy, people like that.
No, you're 100%, because there are those people. There's a lot of people, actually. It just gets overshadowed by like the sheer amount of fucking, I'm going to say it, goons on Discord. Like there's goons everywhere. Like you're not safe, bro. You turn a corner, there's another goon. Like don't even look behind you watching this video, because one's there. And I think another thing you brought up that I think we could discuss on is like ego. That is a ginormous thing in this community. And I'm gonna be honest, there are very few individuals, like if any, who have like earned the right, like let me give you an example of like who I could only like maybe who I could consider earning an ego, like Swag Kage, you know, we talked about Seth, Chuck, anybody, you know, is maybe a successful YouTube channel, like has something going on. They might have, you know, maybe you can grant them the ability to have a little bit of ego, because like they built something up for themselves. So like there's a sense of like, you know, pride to it, like more behind the ego. But then you have these people, right, who like, and I think this kind of goes into like Discord, like being an excuse for real life. Like their only like way of fulfillment is like actually just beating down people on Discord and taking W's and like winning debates, just winning debates. Like, you know what, rat or not, that's their only like fulfillment in life, or like right now. And as a result, they gain egos from it. That like, what are you gaining this ego from? Like what? Like your bank account's trash, your body's trash, like you're not where you want to be in real life. Like, and then there's this fucking sense of entitlement that like because you have a high rank, like, and I'm not saying this is everybody who has a high rank.
You brought up the ego and you know, I'm gonna take out an example. I don't care if I'm gonna name drop. When I think of people like egos, I think of two specific people that I have very big issues with, and that's specifically Crazy Man and Abdul. Now, Thunder God knows about the Crazy Man situation, and I've told him about Abdul. If you guys don't know the context of this, Abdul is this super big, egotistical jackass that just thinks he beat Seth in a debate when I can give you the recording that he lost. Like, if you look on the Pin channel, it is of the return stroke of Kieran, that debate, and he lost.
Oh, that's him?
Yes, that is
Abdul.
Oh,
shit. He got throttled. Yeah, no, continue. Yeah, you're good.
He's just complete garbage, and he acts like, dude, he told Sombra right now, that like we are not even allowed to talk to him because he's just so good. And it's like, okay, Gilgamesh, look at like, you know, like what is, you know, like this is just this garbage. Yeah, like he's literally Gilgamesh, like, but worse. And then, you know, when I think about like Crazy Man, like he's this guy that like he has his goons over there on Clyde server that's like, that would always hype him up and be like, yo, look, I'm the best Fist of the North Star debater ever. And then like, not to like, you know, be like, oh, I beat him or anything, but like, look at what happened to him now. Like he's literally a shadow of himself. And when he lost, everyone was making fun of him. It's just like, these people I don't respect at all. And there's a reason why they have an issue with me and why I absolutely hate that server in general.
Yeah, that's facts. That's honestly facts. Like I 100%, you know, agree with all that. And honestly, like I'm gonna be 100% transparent. I've noticed, right? There are times when like I'll look at a comment and I'll think to myself, I don't have to entertain this. Like, hey, you know, he's coming to my video, like, you know, like he's coming at my opinion. But then, you know, you always gotta level yourself. Like there are times, like I'll admit, I think everybody like has it. It's just like, it's not, you know, it's okay. Like it's natural, you know, it's like, it's a natural influx, like especially if you think you're better than somebody, to like, you know, naturally go against it. But I think there always needs to be that level of like rationality and like groundedness. Like I try to remind myself, it's like, okay, I'm human, you know, I can make mistakes. Like that's something I'm very open to. But that's a reason, like, I think I've been like successful personally. It's like, you got to be grounded. You have to be open to all that stuff. And when you develop ego, you almost stagnate yourself. You really like put a fucking, like a stopper on your growth almost. I think you can agree with me on that. That's like the fastest way to fuck yourself over in the long term. Because when you get ego, I think you'll definitely agree with this. Like you almost feel like you've reached a precipice of like where you can go, like or a ceiling, like because you feel like you're at the top, which is just the farthest from the truth. Like at the end of the day, there's always somebody better than you, you know?
Unless you're Seth.
That's just my thoughts. Yeah. Like at the end of the day, there's always somebody fucking better than you. So it's like, you really got to ground yourself and just realize like, you're not shit. I'm not shit. Burrow's not shit, but we're all trying to improve so we can become shit. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
And then like, I can think of a perfect example of like what you're talking about. When I think of that, and even Seth said almost the exact same thing on live stream, was King Bullet. You know, like King Bullet, you know, he had this huge ego, and then look what happened after his debate with Noodles. And to like put something in comparison, and I'm not saying at all I'm this righteous being who can have no faults or whatever, but like I never go around saying I beat this guy unless I've beaten them in a debate. Like I never go around saying, look, I'm gonna go today and slap Nairobi. I'm gonna go slap Destiny. I'm gonna go, you know, I can beat Seth. I can beat Noodle. You know, like I never go around saying that. And anytime someone says, well, off the scaling, you can beat this guy, I'm always like, I always say, apparently I can beat this guy. Because, you know, like with something like the debate with Xian, people were hyping me up and they're like, oh, Xian debated against 6 paths and can scale to 6 paths. That means you can scale to 6 paths too. And I'm like, well, I can apparently scale to him. We've never debated. I'm not going to claim that. And it's sort of like people just take this ego and drive with it even further. And I just hate it so much.
They almost put on like a persona. Like, you know, it is what it is. Like at the end of the day, like, you know, be who the fuck you want. It's just honestly though, like level with you, like the results will tell who really makes it and who doesn't. Like more often than not, like the people who are driven by ego aren't gonna make it anywhere. They're just gonna fade out. And the people who like remain humble and like really grounded will keep going up. You know, they're you know, especially if they like strive for bigger things. Like, you know, it is what it is. Like ego really is like a disgusting like human trait to have. I feel like people really misconstrued like confidence with ego. You can be confident but not egotistical. Like they sometimes get like, you know, intertwined, but like I really think that's something like I'm a confident guy, but like I try to remain humble and like that, and I'm sure you're the same way, Boro. So it's like be confident in your abilities and like who you are, but don't be a fucking ego like over what your ability to prove like which character could be, man, you know, like fuck.
I want to get into that happy situation because I think that's something important to lay out in the video.
So there was this individual named Happy, and he essentially like ran a gauntlet. Very kind of impressive stuff, not gonna lie, on Universal Naruto, and he was attempting like to debunk it. So, you know, fair. Did I personally agree with this argument? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Actually, more often no, but sometimes yes. And he actually like it got to the point, right, where people were sending allegedly. I don't know how true this is. I've never seen a screenshot of it, so take what I say with a grain of salt. I'm in the community, and this is what I've heard. People were allegedly sending him death threats to him and his fiance fiance because he was trying to like downgrade their favorite anime character scaling. Just let me say that one more time. People were sending death threats to him and his fiance over like how strong an anime character is. Now, if that doesn't speak volumes about the state of our community, I don't know what else does.
And I want to say this because even if let's say Thunder God, what his information is somehow wrong, this isn't out of the ordinary, because there's that whole doxing situation, that huge doxing situation that happened in the debating community. Like, I don't want to drop names, but
you already dropped like 7, bro. You
no, I don't want to drop. I don't want to drop names to be involved in this situation. That makes sense. But like, you know, there was that, and that is, I don't want to say equally as bad, but that's still bad.
What was the deal with that situation? Like, just to refresh my memory and maybe the audiences.
That there was a beef between two debaters and like the server, and because the two people didn't like each other, they ended up doxing each other, and one side made fun of that person's dad and how fat they were.
Jesus.
It just got like bad, and they found out their addresses, and like it just got terrible. And it's like, that's not even debating anymore. That is just kind of like, you know, like you're just taking things to like the next level for no reason. Like,
yeah, no, like I want to let you continue your thought, just because this kind of like what I'm about to say kind of goes back to what we're saying. Like, that kind of stuff really kind of shows like it's those same people who are like coming to Discord because of problems in their real life, and like the insecurities really show. Like, for example, right, like somebody who doesn't get respect at all in their life because they're not worth respecting will probably, you know, come to Discord, start like debating, like let's say take W's and like try and get respect away. And it's like,
I also think like something else to bring up is just something like that situation you were telling me about with the dead person on TikTok. Like, I find that atrocious.
Yeah, so there was this individual on TikTok by the name of Fate, and they had allegedly, you know, they were talking about, they made a post talking about how they were going to commit suicide, and the comment, oh my gosh, like disgusting is like putting it mildly. Like, I've never been grossed out as an individual, and you can tell these are younger peoples, but I'll get into that. I've never been grossed out to the point where, like, for example, people were like smoking Fate's pack when somebody committed suicide, you know, suicide's mid, like joking about it. Like, and I think like it's a problem with our society nowadays, but it's like the idea that like people really don't know the gravity of like what they say over the internet. And it's just, it's so bad. Like, there really is no fucking filter. Like, people really will come at people like in such a manner that it's like, bro, relax. It's really not that deep. And it's just like, it's whack. And it's like, it's pussy shit. Like, to be 100% honest, it's complete pussy shit. And like, if you tell me otherwise, then like, sure, whatever. But it is what it is. You can't sit here and tell me like, that's cool, that's respectable. Anything along those lines is commendable. Because then at the end of the day, you're also part of the problem.
And like, you know, I definitely think that just comes back to like this thing of there's no respect anymore. You know, like, I can bring up another example, because why not? You know, like the example I showed with Thunder God that kind of like inspired this whole thing. There was this guy named Billy. There was, I guess, this debate. I'm not gonna claim he thinks it's a debate, but off my interpretation, I think he thinks it was a debate. But I had claimed something that there was a debate rule over on Clyde server, and on Clyde server, it's apparently there's no debating rules. So he had apparently cited this piece where I had asked one of my friends, Hope Slayer, that, hey, look, what's this level? And of course, there was the whole thing of, hey, look, this isn't even a valid piece that you're citing, because what he had cited was not at all relevant with what I had claimed. But he had gotten like so angry, and like Thunder God can agree because he's seen the screenshots. He was like, you are just another debating spurg, you know, like, you know, when I met you and you had said something like Hokage Naruto loses to the last Naruto, you were just one of these randoms. And it's like, at what point do you go from this is a civil conversation to just outright degrading in a way, hating, if that makes sense? It's just like, I think people on Discord and Twitter, especially Twitter, Twitter, I've never like been more upset at it. Like, Twitter is so like, it's a cesspool. Let me put it like that. Like, power scaling even more so. Like, I want to reach my hand through the computer, like my phone, and slap every person I see on Twitter. And I don't mean every person, but I do. So take that what you will. But like, Twitter upsets me is what I'm getting at. I get triggered by Twitter, bro. Yeah, I agree with that. And it's sort of, you know, it doesn't become a discussion. Like, an example is, if I am telling Thunder God, hey, look, I think Naruto, when he's in his six paths mode, is stronger than any form of Sasuke, okay? We can then discuss that. Thunder God could be like, well, I disagree or agree. Right there, we're keeping it civil. I'm not being like, bro, you're debating Spurred because you disagree. You can go get your family and shoot them. You know, I'm gonna dox you, like, you know.
That honestly, like you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Like, and I think a good example, right? Like a term I'll use in my comments, right? Like I'll give my take, and if me and person disagree, I'll just be like, agree to disagree, whatever, right? And actually, like, weirdly enough, a lot of people tell me it's so crazy that someone's like willing to agree to disagree. Like, oh, like what, over a power scaling issue? Like I've gotten that, and I'm like, dude, is it really that deep? Like, because I don't think it is. Like, I'm not gonna go back and forth that long in my comments. Like, I'll offer to have like a dialectic over Discord if I think they'd actually like provide some like insight, and like it would be actually like informative to people. Like if I see a commenter who brings up something that maybe I missed. For example, I made a Sasuke vs Gaara video. I actually missed some things that somebody brought up to me. We had a really good dialectic. I actually offered, if you wanted to go debate it on Discord, I think it would be just super informative, to be honest, not simply, to take a W, because we did disagree, but I was more interested in what he had to say because he brought up some really good points that I didn't address. So it's like, it's always that level of like, man, there's always like, for some reason, it's inherently toxic. It always is. And it doesn't have to be. It really doesn't.
And like, I'm gonna say two things here. One, at the end of the day, specifically for like what we're talking about, it is a fictional verse. Like, no matter how I word it, if I say Naruto, if I say Bleach, Dragon Ball, blah blah blah, for like the anime community, or even so, like, I wouldn't say most of the debating community, but most of the debating community that would say Thunder God and I have seen debate about fictional stuff. But at the end of the day, it's fiction. It is not, we're not deciding who the next president's going to be, how we're going to run our government. Like, this achieves nothing besides my opinion versus yours. So it's just complete stupidity. If it makes sense, it's just kind of like, you are literally wasting your time, as we said. Something else I want to say is the whole thing of what bigger quote unquote debaters do, and like the debating tiers, like how it fuzzles down to like, I guess, the newer people, if you want to put quotations around that.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. I actually really like how you worded that, Yank. So yeah, here's my stance, right? Like there is a number of debaters who are just sick people. They're epic, they're cool. But there's also a number, right? These people are just really, they're whack. They're not cool. They're losers. I'm gonna be honest. They're losers, right? And they act like assholes. They act like actually absolute dickheads. They actually act like straight up assholes. Like that, straight up, that's it. And the problem is, right, the community puts such a high praise on these individuals who, I guess you can respect them if you want. I'm not gonna say anything about that. Obviously, if you have a favorite debater who you respect and you admire their opinion, that's great, that's fine. However, I feel like the community places way too much emphasis on these people to the point where it like idolizes them, which one, they don't deserve that. They really don't. Like, to be honest, they don't. Like, a lot of people, I'm not gonna say any names, and I'm not gonna really like go into anywhere with that, but there is a great majority. Think what you want on that. But the idea is, right, these people who are like almost idolized, for their debate rank, they act like assholes, right? And that gets funneled down into like younger dudes, because there's a lot of younger individuals in this, a lot of young men, a lot of young boys, not men. These are straight up children, right? Yeah. And they end up acting like complete fucking idiots, like complete degenerates. Like if you saw them walking down the street, you would, like, if they were your kid, you'd get the belt off and really start physically disciplining them. Not to get too into that, but like, they're acting like degenerates, right? And the reason they are is because they see like that's appropriate behavior in the community, and it's backed up by like everybody backing up that behavior with the higher tier debater. It's like monkey see, monkey do. That's as simple as it gets. And it's really not good. It's not. And like, I think the community's starting to shift to where this behavior is becoming more whack, but not enough. Because like spurging, for example, that's the dumbest fucking thing ever. If you do that, look, whatever, but like, it's retarded. And like, for example, right, I have one debate on my channel. I wasn't like, I was like pretty aggressive, mostly because me and the dude were like shit talking before then. But looking back on it, man, it's like, there's nothing but embarrassment there. And it's like, if that's like, it's really, do you really want to portray yourself in that kind of way? That's what you really want to like show, like being an asshole, being a spurg, being like an absolute dickhead? Like, that's how you want to be viewed? And it's like, that behavior gets like thrown down the funnel to like everybody, and it just ends up with this cycle of horse shit. And it's getting, like, I think it is becoming less acceptable as we're moving up, because like more people are getting in and more people are seeing that. But what are your thoughts on that?
Personally, I just think it's like, as you said, pure degeneracy and idiocy. Like again, it can kind of boil down to like how to have a conversation and what you should identify as a role model. It's kind of like, why would I be idolizing someone who, I don't want to say, I guess it depends on the person, but primarily spends their time on the internet debating literal randoms. I don't know about you, but if I said, hey, here are two debaters, I'm not going to know who those people are outside of their Discord persona, you know, like yeah,
and don't use Seth as an example in the comments, because he's like an outlier, because he's literally like making a living off of it. So like, that's actually cool. That's like sick energy. That's badass. That's actually badass. Like, getting to talk about anime characters fighting each other and like making a living off of it, that's what you call fucking chat energy. That's what you should strive to. Like, sorry, I just had to bring that up because I feel like somebody was gonna be like, well, Seth does that. So it's like, like Seth does that shit, but Seth's fucking cool. So it's like, are you really gonna like justify your, you know, there's like a difference. There's a difference between somebody who like does this and then someone who just does this. You know what I mean? Like that's really. Continue with your thought though, just because like I didn't want to interrupt you.
Yeah, personally, you know, like there's no reason for me to idol someone like that. So like when I hear, oh man, this debater from Discord, TikTok, Instagram is my idol, I'm just like laughing, because like, why is this bum your idol? Like, what have they done? You know? Like,
you know, it's a really good point. I've kind of realized, like, because I'm pretty small, but like I've been growing. I've actually spoken to some of my subs, and these are actually like super young guys, boys even. It's like just speaking to like for example, like the idea that like a child watches my content and like gets like some sort of like inspiration from me. There's a level of responsibility there. Like, you should have an obligation to like, if you have like some sort of like someone admiring what you do, you should have like an obligation to I'm not saying take like shit, but like have a certain level of like act a certain way. Like, you don't see fucking Obama being like you're a hoe. Like, no, like you should just know, like, if you're that type of person, and you know if you're in that position, you know if you are. If you don't think you are, then you shouldn't be talking shit regardless. But if you are, it just kind of shows. Like, you need to be level-headed, and you need to give like, because to be honest, like I think it's like you have to give these people something to aspire to, but in the right way. Like, you really shouldn't be, you know. And like a lot of people don't think on this because like, again, it goes back to like, you have these immature people doing this, so like they don't know any better, and it's just like it all goes hand in hand. It really does. Like and it's like, I think there's a change coming, but these are things that just need to be said in general. Don't fall into this cycle of being a dickhead and be trash, and let the like a debating role define. Like, you're better than that. You really are. And honestly, if I can come up, like, you can, because I guarantee you I was worse than any one of your favorite debaters, and I'm still improving. I'm not saying I'm good. Like, if I can do it, I'm telling you can. Like, I'm already growing from like somebody who had no knowledge of this, but like, dude, just like, you can do it. Like, you can. Don't you know what I'm saying? That's really all that needs to be said.
I personally don't have much or anything else to say on this topic. Do you have anything else?
I think we covered it. I think we really like hit a lot of stuff home. Because I'm gonna do a similar video on this, but it's gonna be not so PG-13. So and I've already cussed a lot, but in that video I'm gonna go off the cuff. So let me not you know, desecrate your channel with that.
That being said, guys, tell me if you guys agree with this, just because like I think, you know, it really has gotten to the point where it's become like this corrupted environment where it's kind of getting hard to enjoy. But tell me what you guys think. Subscribe to my man Thunder God. He makes amazing content over there. That being said, though, anyways, thanks guys. Until next time.
Bye.
So just like in typical fashion on this channel, I'm always adding something post-recording, but it's whatever. Before and after the recording with Thunder God, we both had this conversation of this common trend and theme we kept seeing in the debating community, most specifically Discord, since that's where I typically spend my time, and I would tell him about it. And there was a common trend there, and it was something that Thunder God had sort of spoke about in the recording, but he didn't get too far into it. The theme or trend was that people tend to hide themselves from the real life and they go into this online world to escape. Now, this isn't to say like that's anything inherently wrong or bad, and that's not to say, you know, anything on the online world is bad, because I see people making interesting blogs, pieces of art, and conversations, etc., that are like pretty good. But our issue is that how much time are you spending on it? This isn't me trying to be this old, senile, geriatric old man who doesn't want people to spend time on the internet. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just trying to point out that if you're spending an X amount of time, is that good or bad? I think it's very sad if you are spending hours and hours on an online site and you are dedicating a large amount of time on it. It's so lazy, it's so unhealthy, and the list goes on of how bad that is. I remember before the recording, Thunder God had told me about this popular Discord debater, and he had done a face reveal or something like that where Thunder God had seen his face, and then he had made a comment. I'm going to paraphrase it because I don't quite remember off the top of my head of what it was, but it was like, how are you impressive when you are looking and living your life like that? And what he's saying here is that, you know, like off of appearance, because that's what we can, like, your health is your appearance, if that makes sense. If you do not take care of your body, you will look not as appealing as someone who does. Not saying anything, you know, like that's bad or anything like that, but that's just how the body works. And we know that person's attitude just off of recording. So he's like, it's so sad to like idolize someone like this, or to like be impressed by someone like this when they're living their life like that. That is what he's saying. And I'm definitely in agreement. If you are spending 10 plus hours in a chair, ignoring, you know, school or anything educational like that, just you're on Twitter or you're on Discord and you're spending many hours on it, I just think that's sad. You are literally wasting your life. This isn't to say like you can't make friends or you can't type on an online site like that. Like that has nothing to do with it. Like that's totally fine. But I'm just saying you're wasting your time in your life if you're spending like, I don't know, 6, 8, 10, 12, 16 hours. You know, when I have given the example of people spending 16 hours on Discord or on whatever site I had mentioned earlier, like that is pitiful. There's no reason for you to be spending that much time. And again, it comes back to this thing of it's because they aren't doing anything with themselves and they're just hiding to be on the online world, and they just want to be with someone because they're scared or they're afraid of a social or what, you know, whatever the case is. I think it should be noted, this isn't, you know, this new empowerment group of like, let's fight this online community people and stay out of it. You know, like this isn't me trying to make this whole new campaign or whatever. This is just me saying, just be more wise with your time. Anyways, I just had to get this off my chest, and anyways,